Hi guys, welcome to this small tutorial how to install an M.2 SSD like the Samsung 960 Evo series and install Windows system on it. So yeah, Windows can boot on this. So this is possible. In my case, I had an older Gigabyte motherboard. I mean, it's a desktop, of course, and it has an old or yeah relatively cheap Gigabyte motherboard, outdated firmware. So yeah, I mean it can be done, but it's not super easy. I have to tell you, we had to invest about 2 hours or so, me not working but researching a lot of problems. There were a lot of obstacles we run into, and so I'm trying now to help you how to make it easier. Maybe you will run into different problems, but maybe it maybe I hopefully I will be able to help you. So yeah, just when you're buying this, there are different buying options. This is one of the fastest buying options, most expensive option. There are a little bit slower options. So just before you order that, just check on your motherboard how fast your M2 port, how much I/O your motherboard is supporting, because this is pretty fast. And if your motherboard is too slow, doesn't make sense to buy the fastest um, storage, of course, because yeah, you can get it cheaper when you're buying and a little bit slower, and it gets really cheaper. So I've bought this and I opened my PC. The problem was a little bit that the slot, this is the slot here. I mean, I had the Gigabyte looked a little bit different, but yeah, it's different with every motherboard. So, but anyway, the thing is, usually a space like this. It's flat on the motherboard. It's not upright like the old storage or so. It's more flat, and you have to push it into this socket. You almost lay it flat down to the motherboard and then push it into this side. There's no flap, no nothing, just push it in. And but of course, before you do that, you have to remove this screw. That's the first thing you have to do. Remove this screw, push the thing in, and then secure it with this screw. So in my case, the fan was a little bit covering this area. So before you order this storage, make sure that your space where you can push this in is accessible. I mean, when you have a big fan and you have to remove that completely, maybe put everything back. I mean, even put on new thermal paste or whatever. So it's probably not worth the hassle. Or yeah, it's you have to decide. But it can be a problem. Just make sure this space is nicely accessible. So at the end it will look like this. Sometimes there are several layers, so you can install more of these. Here it has a little bit a gap between the motherboard and the M2 or the SSD. So in my case it was really flat on the motherboard, but usually it looks similar to this. So just push it in and secure it here with the screw. Then of course you have to prepare a new window installation on a flash drive, or I mean you can use a DVD-ROM of course, but these days the easier thing is to use a flash drive. Has to be on from a certain size, can't remember, like probably when you have 16 gigs or so should be enough. I don't know if 8 gig is enough, probably not. I would take at least 16 gigs. I was using a 16 gig and it was okay. So you download the tool and run it, and then you can select which Windows version you put on it. Of course, you have to use a version, the same version as you already have, so otherwise the Windows key doesn't work, of course. So yeah, regarding Windows key, there are a lot of discussions which key you need to enter after installation. So here you have a product key. When you go to your PC, Explorer PC, right click on that, and then you get information, and then you have product key. You can also run this command here, wmic pass blah blah blah. You can run this command in the command tool, command prompt as an administrator, and you get a product key. That's a different key, that's not the same key as here. It will be a different key. I would, as a safety procedure, I would write it down, but probably you won't need it. In my case, I didn't need it, and I haven't seen it lately that you need it. Usually these days you don't need it because Windows saves this information on the motherboard in a specific area, which yeah, stays even when you reinstall Windows. This area won't be deleted. So usually you don't need that, but I would recommend to write both keys down. So then you um, insert your, when you have prepared your USB key with your new Windows version, you you push your USB drive into the USB port and restart the Windows. And of course, you have to make sure you have to make sure that it boots from your USB stick. You have to if it doesn't, usually it will automatically boot from your USB stick, but if it doesn't, you have to hold F2 or F7, can't remember anymore. Yeah, I mean, I would push down F2 and F7 alternately, and then it will go into the BIOS settings, and then you have to select that it first boots from the USB drive, and then reboot again, and then it will start with the Windows setup which you have on your USB drive. And then yeah, just click go. I mean, it starts. You will have this thing where it shows how it the progress thing, and after 2 or 3 screens you will end up with something like this, where you can choose where to install the new Windows system. And you probably, if everything went right with the installation, hardware installation, you should find your new Samsung or whatever SSD. You should find it here, and you click on that and click on next. But it can happen that Windows says Windows can't be installed on drive whatever 1, 2 or 3 partition. So what happens, it can be that it's this drive isn't set up the right way with the master boot record or the GPT partition. So what you can do, you go back, I think you have to click on the X, and then you get to the previous screen, and then you go to repair, and then you can go to the command prompt. And when you go to the command prompt, you do something like this. Here is this thing. I will um, yeah, I will put down all these links which you need, especially like this one. I will do this, insert this in the description so you can find this. So it starts with list disk, then you have to select the disk which you want to change, like the Samsung, select disk 1 or 2 or whatever, then type clean, then convert MBR, and then exit, and then you can start all over till you get to this screen again. You can select the Samsung drive, and then you should be able to install on your window. So at least in my case, I then was able to install the Windows on the new Samsung SSD. So what happened? Installation was finished, and of course what you have to do during the Windows installation, there is a 5-step progress, and after step 5 it will reboot your computer. So make sure at this moment to remove the USB drive, otherwise it will restart from scratch, and you have to do the whole installation process again. So make sure that you watch the whole thing, how it progresses, and at step 5 you have to remove the USB flash drive. Okay, I mean, it won't hurt when you do the same thing again, but it's time consuming, it's not necessary. So yeah, what happened? In my case, Windows was installed and it finally rebooted, but it rebooted with the old Windows from the old hard drive and not with the Windows which I have now new installed. So what happened? The old, like a little bit outdated firmware of my gigabyte board was not able to recognize the M.2 SSD drive. So I did a lot of research and I couldn't find a solution. So yeah, my default solution is always when it comes to drives, and so then update the BIOS. So I went to the Gigabyte homepage. Then yeah, here you can look up your yeah, there's a like a yeah, field where you can search, and you have to find out what motherboard you have. You go there, go to support and download, and then to BIOS, like here. Not drivers, because it's just like sound drivers, and so you click on BIOS, and then you get a list of BIOS updates, usually for your system, and hopefully there will be a newer one. You see here there are old ones like from 2012 and newer ones from 2013. My newer one was from 2015, and then you download it from the site which is the closest to you or fits the best to your area. And yeah, usually there's a change log like description, and I was expecting that they were writing something about added M.2 support. There was nothing, but you never know. Sometimes they just mess BIOS up, and when they find errors, they don't write everything down. They just fix it and uh, publish a new version of the BIOS. And yeah, yeah, it's really just a good thing when you update your BIOS when you have, or firmware from the BIOS from the motherboard. Yeah, when you are having such problems, then update it to the latest version. It can't hurt as long as you don't yeah, mess it up. I mean, you have to be careful, of course, when you do updates. Yeah, it can. I mean, when you interrupt the whole process or you have a power outage during the update, yeah, it could, in theory, destroy your motherboard. But usually, since a couple of years, most of the motherboard providers they have a backup BIOS, so when the update fails, it just goes back to the backup BIOS. So usually you can always restart. I mean, it was 10 or 15 years ago, it was much more risky to update BIOS. These days, it's usually not a big risk anymore. So what you need the BIOS, and you have to go to the BIOS setup. Like when you have a gigabyte motherboard, sometimes there are other BIOS update software which you can download from your manufacturer. Here in my case, it was the easiest way to download just the firmware to the USB stick and then reboot and press F2, F7, can't remember which one, to go to the BIOS. And when you go to the BIOS, there is on the right top, there is, at least in my case, there was something written like Q flash. Of course, it's for other manufacturers, it's different thing. So here, I hope you can see that Q flash. It's on top right. You click on that, and you click on install um, new software, new firmware, and then you select from where it where you have stored, like the USB drive, and it takes some time. And in my case, I updated the BIOS, and I it rebooted automatically, and I didn't have to even change the boot order. It automatically picked the SSD from the M.2 slot first. So yeah, if it doesn't, of course, you go to the BIOS and change the boot order so that first so the first thing where it boots or where it tries to boot is your new Samsung SSD from the M.2 slot. So, of course, that didn't cover all the possible problems which you can run into, but I think this at least covered the majority of the problems you can run into, especially when it comes to this particular drive, like the Samsung SSD, and when you have a gigabyte motherboard, especially an outdated motherboard. So yeah, I hope I was able to help you a little bit with that. If you have any questions or comments, just write to the comment section below, and I'm always happy to talk about these things. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.